Okay, same. This is UNsobered, the show where Natasha and RoShawn chat about a different subject every 2 weeks and keep you all entertained, maybe inform you, probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold out for that.
I'm not going to, put that on the description box or anything. And hopefully you all enjoy this as your perk. You beautiful, high-rolling, generous patrons. Big hugs. So, I'm about to play some theme music that I have not yet chosen, and we'll see you on the other side.
Oh my God.
The theme song's going to be Trucks Driving by RoShawn's House. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is our first episode doing something completely outside of unspoiled format with no actual material to cover. So I hope you all can bear with us as we get our feet under us doing something new like this. But I'm pretty excited because, I don't get me wrong, I absolutely love doing what I do. But I'm kind of excited to just riff a little bit and get to talk about whatever's on our mind at that particular time. And not be beholden to a TV show or a book, and be hoping to God that I like this episode so that I actually want to talk about it instead of dreading it all week, which is not a fun place to be. You all know us. I'm Natasha.
I'm RoShawn.
And this episode, for our very first one, is going to be about being sick. Now, you may hear that I sound sick. That is a lie. This is nature causing my body to attack itself, and my body is reacting to beautiful springtime and flowers with utter panic and no understanding whatsoever of the particles that are entered. Like, I've lived on this earth for 33 years. You would think that my body would fucking get it by now. But every year we have to go through this where I think I'm sick and then I realize that's not what's happening. Do you have allergies, RoShawn?
I don't suffer seasonal allergies, really.
Ah, you're so lucky.
Yeah, I don't get the hay fever. I don't get all sinusy and stuff. I suffer from seasonal bronchitis, which is a different thing.
That's true. Yeah, you do get that all the time.
Yeah, and then like every winter I almost die.
It's so true. It's true, guys.
It's true.
She winds up in the friggin' ER, and it's like it's an ordeal.
It's a whole thing. And I am really stubborn. So I always say I'm not sick. It'll be fine. I'm just going to Dayquil the shit out of this bronchitis. And this year, it'll be fine. Mm-hmm. And then, then I can't breathe. And it becomes a situation. And then we have to get me to, care urgently.
They call that urgent care. She can't even say it. You're so in denial about what it is. Well, you see, we have to bring me urgently to a place that offers care. Yes, there's a name for that. It's called the emergency room.
I hate it so much. I hate it. And then the thing, too, is because I know what is happening with my body. And I feel like I don't need a doctor to tell me what I already know. Mm-hmm. So I resent them announcing to me what I have.
Yeah, I get that.
I get so mad. After spending 5 hours, they walk in the room and they're like, "Oh, you have bronchitis."
Oh,
and I'm like,
no shit.
Right?
Who would have thought?
So I get so annoyed. I'll usually just walk in and I'll be like, just give me this prescription so I can go home. But, they can't do that. They have to do the test and the x-ray and, it's a whole thing. So to answer your question, no, I don't have allergies.
You were so worried about us doing this because you didn't think that we would have enough to talk about. But look, I asked you one question and 10 minutes later, you're like, so, in answer.
I feel guilty, too. I feel like this is a lie because it's like 1 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon and I'm completely sober.
Oh, yeah, guys, we're both very sober right now. We're going to be trying to record these at an evening so that we are a little loopy and drunk, but at this point, I'm just loopy from friggin' Benadryl and shit. Mm-hmm. And RoShawn is loopy with anxiety. And if you can hear, I have a bowl of Campbell's chicken noodle soup here. So I am having that because for some reason, if I'm not lubricating my gullet right now, I start to cough immediately. So I need to be like pouring gelatinous fluids down my throat to keep myself from like hacking a lung up.
You said that you had just used the Neti-Pot, and I didn't really react to that announcement, but inside I died a little.
Okay, have you ever used a Neti-Pot?
Fuck no.
Okay, listen.
How do you even...
Owen had the same reaction as you. It was, I think, about 2 months ago. But he was so miserable. And I was like, babe, you should really think, I know it's like weird, but think about it. And so he went out and got one without telling me at Walmart because they have like plastic ones. And he went into the shower and I didn't know he had done it, but he went and took a hot shower, did the Neti-Pot, and he came out and I was cooking dinner and he just stared at me and said, that was a fucking religious experience.
Oh God, no.
And I was like, I know, right?
No.
Neti-Pots are kind of magical.
I can't, like, if I get even a little bit of water up my nose accidentally in the shower, I practically almost break my neck from the way my body reacts to that occurrence. Like, I can't stand up straight anymore. Like,
oh my God.
My knees give out a little bit.
Oh my God.
It's bad. So the thought of purposefully pouring a teapot filled with water up my nose.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It takes a little practice, but if you hold your head right and you keep your mouth open and breathe the right way, it just goes right through.
You know what would happen to me? I would drown myself.
Yeah, you probably would.
I would
if you
drown
react
myself.
that way. You'd just start to jerk and flail. And we'd find your body amongst the shards of the broken Neti-Pot. Exactly, and I'd be like, oh, I know what would happen. The detectives would be mystified. But I'd come right in and be like, listen, here's what it is. Notice how her neck is at a 90-degree angle? That wasn't from the fall. That was what happened when the water touched her nostril. But yeah, I did one today, and it helped, but I think I put too much salt in the water because it's supposed to be salinated water. And it burned like a motherfucker. It was really bad. But it did help, though. I am gargling. I did the Neti-Pot in the nose, and then I gargled with salt water.
There's that word again. It's 2
gargled?
days in a row where I've said gargled.
Gargled?
I don't like
and
it.
Gullet and gelatinous. Let me take a sip of my gelatinous soup. Oh, baby. I don't like canned soup. Except when I'm sick, and then it's like the best fucking thing that's ever been invented.
Are you using one of the old school condensed soups, or do you have one of the new fancier ones?
No, old school Campbell's condensed chicken noodle.
That's what's up. That's the thing. It's nothing but salt. Classic,
and yeah, like you said, a lot of salt, which I think is part of it. Like, you're gargling salt water, I guess drinking salty soup's got to help something, right?
I mean, what could it hurt?
That's kind of my view on it. Like, it might be mostly salt, but you got, like, if anybody saw the amount of salt I put on my food on the daily, they'd have a fucking heart attack. I'm constantly shocked when I get my blood pressure taken that it's really low. Like, I've got really good blood pressure because I'm waiting for it to catch up with me, and it hasn't yet. I love salt. But, eating this junk, it's, like, still healthier than what I eat sometimes. big bowl of soup with some noodles in
Right.
it. It's not that bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm not one to judge anybody on their diet because, with my
God,
bagel
guys.
and bowl of rice diet.
That is literally all she ate in a day. Was a bagel and a bowl of rice. And then she was like, well, I was thinking about giving up carbs. And I'm like, then what will you eat? How will you stay alive?
You know what? After I told you about the keto diet, like the next day, I had, I was making coffee and I put so much sugar in my coffee. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to do that diet.
Yeah, I think that's a thing with a lot of diets is that you like don't really think of the thing that you have every day because it's such a part of your routine that it like fades into the background. And then once you have to like scrutinize things, like I remember when I was like thinking maybe I would give up caffeine, but I have my lovely teapot and my pot of tea every day, and I could have herbal tea, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's really not the same.
But yeah, my mom was thinking that she was going to do this other diet, and they wanted her to give up coffee. And she just laughed. She was like, I'll do everything they want except give up coffee. What kind of monsters are these people?
Yeah, like it would have to be just black coffee with some type of, I think, sugar substitute. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm not doing that. Black coffee.
And sugar substitutes are real. You know what? We should do an episode on sugar substitutes. I'm gonna save that and put.
I actually have a story about sweet and low.
See, perfect. All right, we're holding on to this. Put a pin in that. Sweeteners. I have a story myself actually about xylitol.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So back to being sick. So I wanted to talk about, because like as a grown up, you were talking about how you resist going to the doctor, both because you know what it is and you have to go through this litany of tests and poking and prodding when you know what it is, which is a pain in the ass. But also I just don't have time for this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like or even if I do have the time, I don't want to make time for this. And it's such a departure from like, I remember being little and my dad was clearly sick and he kept denying it. And as a little kid, I was like, why doesn't he just admit he's sick? Because then he gets cinnamon toast.
Yeah.
What is the problem?
You get to stay home from school.
Yep.
You get to like camp out on the couch. At least I did. I would get like a little bed made up on the couch, and I would drink ginger ale and get to watch like Nickelodeon all day. And
now let me ask you, which brand of ginger ale?
What?
Which brand of ginger ale?
Oh.
That's my big...
Canada's John.
Yes. Girl, yes. Canada, dry all the way.
Yeah,
Thank
you. Is there another
continue.
kind?
I'm sorry. Schweppes.
Oh, no, ma'am.
Nobody. No.
No.
Agreed. Okay, I'm sorry. I interrupted. Please continue.
No, this is just how much fun it was to be not sick. You know, I'd be home with my mom during the day and watch TV. And though I'm really old, so when I got sick when I was little, there was always like a spoonful of like cod liver oil that I'd have to take.
Oh no!
And I don't even remember I don't remember if it would. No, it was for every sickness. It didn't matter what was wrong with me. I had to take cod liver oil,
That only recently started to come in capsules, so you had to get that stinky stuff.
It was a spoonful of like a syrupy
awful.
thing. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and she kept it in the closet. My mom had this hall closet of doom. It was where she kept all the bad things. That's where the cod liver oil was kept. That's where the alcohol and peroxide was kept. It was like a, like a medicine cabinet / linen closet deal. And that's where all the, all the treatments were kept.
Cod liver oil, man.
Do you remember brown Vaseline? Are you old enough for that?
Brown?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it was like medicated. It was like medicated Vaseline.
I'm like Googling this right now to see if I recognize the label. Let's see. Brown Vaseline.
Yeah, like the Vaseline itself wasn't necessarily brown, but like the packaging was.
Did it have a yellow top to the jar? New medicated carbolated petroleum jelly. Does that sound right?
That sounds right.
Oh, it's horrible looking. Oh no.
Yeah. It was a dark time when I was a little kid.
So you watch Nickelodeon too?
Yeah, but it was like super old school Nickelodeon. Like there was a TV show called Today's Special that was like a department store that had a mannequin that would come to life at night.
That sounds amazing.
Only like the night guardsmen knew about it, and there's some other stuff going on. And then there was a TV show called Pinwheel that was like sort of a Sesame Street kind of low-key educational thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking like 81, 82, 83,
Man.
like a long, long time ago.
Yeah, when I watched, because I also was assigned a spot in front of the TV, wrapped up in, I had a green blanket that was like the softest thing ever, and I went with my mom to Florida and left it there by accident, and I was so sad, yeah. I had a security blanket. I was so upset, and I secretly thought my mom might have, like, had me leave it, like taken it out of my suitcase or something. I was a little suspicious of her because there were a couple times that she expressed that maybe I was getting a little old for this thing. But I asked her about it recently, and she was like, "Oh no, I didn't take it." And I know that now she'd tell me. So I just left it because I'm apparently bitches ain't loyal. So I would watch David the Gnome. Did you ever watch that show?
I don't think so.
Nobody knows about the show. I've met like 3 people in my life who know what David the Gnome is. And it was a show that I found after I was given this book. There's an illustrator that does these huge coffee table books about mythical creatures. And they're written as if they're like actual diaries observing these creatures in the wild, the way that like a botanist would write about plants, like the illustrations and the labeling and everything inside. Somebody gave me one about gnomes and I got fascinated by it. And then I found out that there was a TV show that used a lot of the mythology in that book. And I grew obsessed with this show and nobody fucking knows about it. And it breaks my heart. That one and what was the other show I would always watch? There was one called Special Delivery. And it was like fairy tales and myths and stuff. Oh. And it was on really infrequently. And I would always be so excited when it would come on. And people don't know about that one either. If you guys listening know what I'm talking about, I'd be really excited to connect with somebody on this because I liked old school stories and myths and legends and folklore and that kind of shit. That was like my jam. So having any of that on Nickelodeon was really exciting. And I don't really think that's that much of a thing on there anymore, which is a shame. Did
you have, when you were a little kid and you had cable, did you have the box with the cord or no?
To be honest, when I was little and we had cable, we were stealing it. We moved into this condo and there was just cable there.
Oh, that's what's up.
And we just kept, and it was like 2 straight years that they didn't notice that we had it going and weren't paying for it. And then they finally turned it off.
Nice.
And I don't remember what we had after that. But yeah, so we were just straight up stealing cable. So I still remember my mom just saying that to people, being like, "Oh yeah, we're not paying for this, whatever." It's just like, as a little kid, was like, maybe we shouldn't be spreading that around. Okay. But yeah, ginger ale for sure. A lot of times I would do ginger ale mixed with orange juice, which makes a kind of like nice little cocktail. And cinnamon toast. My mom would make me.
Cinnamon toast.
I should make some of that today is what I should fucking do. That sounds amazing. But that was like I could have cinnamon toast whenever I wanted. Like if I asked for it, she'd make it. But I could not get enough of it when I was sick.
Yeah.
And this little herbal tea too. This you know the Sleepy Time?
Mm-hmm.
It was like that. It wasn't the same one, but she'd squeeze a bunch of lemon and honey. And so now lemon and honey and tea immediately. I'm like, oh, I want to watch David the Gnome.
I don't remember comfort food from being homesick. I remember ginger ale. Also, like baby aspirin.
Oh, God. My mom wouldn't let me swallow them. She'd crush them between 2 spoons
Yep.
and mix a little water and make me swallow it, and that tastes, I still remember it.
I can still remember the taste too, yeah.
Oh, God, it's so fucking nasty.
I wonder if they must still make that, right? I feel like we don't
Baby
medicate
aspirin?
babies the way we used to.
I would think so. Now I'm checking that too. Baby aspirin. And then once I got older, my mom was like, take this, what is it called? Echinacea?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But she had it in like tinctures. And it, again, the fucking nastiest, I would come very close to retching every time and just like throwing up. And I'd have to really struggle to actually swallow it.
Oh, and I've only ever had it in tea form.
Oh, it's just low dose. Yeah, it doesn't say baby aspirin.
Aww.
It says low dose. Oh, there's a pink one that says children's. Okay,
Aww.
yes, yeah. That's all I see, though.
Oh, man.
What was that even for? Was that for, like, fevers?
Probably fevers and low dose pain, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess so. So, nowadays, if I do decide, finally, to give in and admit that I'm sick, the one good thing about it that I really take advantage of is that I can drink all the orange juice I want. Because I have a weird hang up about juice that I just know it's like really bad for me. And it's stupid because there's so many things that are really bad for me and much worse than juice that I partake in with no problem at all.
With abandon even.
Abandon. Listen, you should have seen the amount of butter I just put on a piece of toast. I should be arrested. But juice, I don't know why. It's just, I always feel guilty about having juice. And if I get sick, you know what I'm going for is the friggin' Simply Orange. The good stuff. Oh, it's so good. Simply Orange forever.
What is it because there's so much sugar in the juice? Is that why it's bad?
It's like really high in sugar.
I love juice.
Oh yeah.
No, what I love is sugar, actually. Let's just be honest.
That's fair.
I love sugar. And however I can get it into my body.
And see, that's something like recently I've started to notice that I always thought of myself as somebody who had a big sweet tooth, but I actually get like really grossed out much faster on things that are super sweet. And I can eat salty stuff until my stomach pops. I'll go on with lasagna way past what's appropriate. But if you give me like a Frappuccino, I can't do it. I can't drink that thing. It's too much.
Oh.
It's just, I can't. And so juice strikes that balance where it's like, it's sweet, but it's also tart and has like enough going on that it's like it's a perfect storm. Mm-hmm. And I'll drink a whole container, and that whole container is like 2 days worth of calories, pretty much. But I'll do it because I'm sick, so it's fine. It doesn't count, right?
Yeah, I don't have those problems.
What do you do for yourself when you what's your thing that comforts you when you're sick now? Is there anything?
There really isn't anything.
You need to come up with something.
Yeah, when I'm sick, I just
burrito up.
I do. I wrap up and I sleep mostly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't...
Maybe that's it. That's your treat that you give yourself, is that you just let yourself sleep with abandon.
Yeah, I don't... And I have a whole... Because see, now, as an adult, if I get sick, not only is it a pain in the ass dealing with doctors and I never want to go, but there's also the work thing where I'm not going to work.
Right?
So, first of all, to call out for me is a whole thing. Right?
That's fair.
To get myself to the point where I am letting them know that I'm not going to show up for work on this day.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I have to feel bad about that for the entire day that I'm homesick. So that kind of really eats into whatever sort of, what can I do to feel better?
Yeah.
And plus also, I'm 43. And the fact that I have to call and tell someone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird thing. Like, I understand that you have to let people know you're not going to be into work, but I still also feel like a little kid, you know? Like, do I sound sick enough, you know?
Is that such a, like, you could actually be on your deathbed, but you're still faking a weaker voice when you call in, just to make sure they believe you.
And the old job, you couldn't just, like, you had to call, you know? The new job, I can just text, which takes a lot of pressure off. I can just text it, you know, be like, hey, this is what's going on. But I used to have to call. When I was in the hospital from the bronchitis 2 years ago, I was literally in the ICU, all gimmicked up to the machines. And I was, like, telling Steven, you have to call, you know, don't forget to call my job, you know, because you can't call overnight. You have to, like, do it that morning. So I'm like, it's 6:05. You have to call and tell them I'm not coming to work. Which really, that I was even thinking about that at the time, I think is just bananas. Like, I should not have been, you know, that should have been something I was worried about a little bit later.
I'm just, like, choking here. Now, hold on. Let me swallow some of this. It's so weird. It's like when I don't have something coating my throat, it feels like this dry, cracking skin. It's horrifying.
It sounds unpleasant.
I don't care for this at all. All right, so that's being sick, everybody. That's the summary. So I said that we were going to have various segments here and there. And for those of you who did not see the post in the patrons group, here's a list of some of the examples I came up with for potential, segments. So that guy from That Thing, where we discuss celebrities with very little actual knowledge or expertise or indeed even memory of their names. Feminazi Recommends, where we give advice and opinions from the POV of complete misinterest bent on world domination and the total subjugation of men. In other words, the advice that we would give anyway. 50 Shades of Ro, in which I educate RoShawn on some fetish or fanfic or toy that she doesn't know about. I'm looking forward to that.
I don't know if I am.
Word to the Unwise, in which we answer write-in letters or Reddit articles asking for advice. And after I wrote this, I also came up with the idea for Cuck Corner.
Oh my God.
I don't know what that is yet. I just like the name, so I'm just going to put that out there if somebody else comes up with a good idea for what that should be.
Oh.
Maybe it'll be a special, a special mention of today's cuck, and it'll be a guy who actually acted like a decent human being. And that'll be it. It'll be Cuck Corner, and today's cuck is so-and-so who did not rape anybody. Congratulations. So those are what's going to be coming up. I wanted to get us warmed up a little bit with the idea of an advice thing with this unbelievable advice question that was sent into Ask E. Jean, which is the advice columnist for Elle magazine. So I'm just going to read this to you, and then we're just going to talk about it because there's plenty to talk about. Dear E. Jean, it's hard to believe, but I think my husband is trying to poison me. Part of me worries that I'm paranoid and maybe imagining it, but the facts present a different story. I suspect he's putting something in my coffee. I notice it smells funny, and when I drink it, my eyes get super puffy and swollen. I suspect he's also adding stuff to my lotions and bath products, which create brown discolorations on my skin. My legs look as if they're covered in snake skin. My arms are dry as cracked earth. Same with my shampoos. Whatever he's putting in them makes my hair extremely dry and knotted. These are expensive, high-end products that I know from experience work well. My suspicions have been further aroused since he started ranting about my, quote, using chemicals, unquote. I've now switched to drinking tea, have left decoy shampoos and skin products in the bathroom, and have hidden my good products. My hair and skin improved almost overnight. Last month, I purchased a small camera and hid it in the bathroom, but I think he discovered it and deleted the files. So I moved it to a new location and he put something in front of the lens. I need help. I've been married to this man for 11 years. I don't know what to do. I'm freaked out. I have a successful career and own significant assets. He doesn't work. Obviously, if he wanted to kill me, he's had plenty of chances. So my questions. Can you suggest a camera that might be more user-friendly and more easily concealed? Do you know a good lab where I can send the products to have them tested for tampering? Should I go to the police before I have proof? From Losing Sleep.
Well.
Right. My favorite thing about this whole letter is, so my question is really, do you know of a good camera that I could use? Holy shit, lady, you've got much bigger things to worry about than the type of camera that you're going to put in your fucking bathroom that he's already thwarted twice and apparently is looking for.
So, what do you think? All right, so I'm wondering how she is getting from A to B to C. She suspects she might be getting poisoned. Mm-hmm. But she responds pretty, I almost wanted to say rationally, but I don't think it's rational. But it seems like it. Like, well, let me just...
Yeah, her letter seemed even-handed enough.
You know, like, let me just hide my stuff and see if there's a change. But then there is a change. Yeah. So that seems like confirmation. But then she's like, well, let me put a camera in.
Yep.
See if I can. Like, at no point has she been like, I should probably just go now.
This is, and, like, so when I first read this, before I got to the part where she says my skin and hair improved almost immediately, I was thinking maybe their water supply was tainted with something, you know, like, because she was saying her coffee tasted weird and that when she showers, her hair and her skin, and like, if you have fucked up water, ask anybody from Flint. They take showers and their skin breaks out and they get rashes and stuff. Mm-hmm. So that was my first, but then she changes products and it's gone. Come on.
Yeah, like at this point, that seems to me like, what else do you need?
Yeah.
What other information do you need from the situation before you decide that maybe you should just leave now?
And honestly, if you are at a point where in your marriage you really believe that your husband is not only capable of murdering you, but you can put together why he would, and you think he's trying, mm-hmm. Your marriage is over.
Yeah. And he's ranting about chemicals.
This is the part that I didn't understand. Like, he's ranting about her using chemicals. Why would he rant about, like, why bring attention to it at all if he's trying to poison her?
Unless he wants her to not use these products because they're bad, and so he's making them worse so he can be like, see, all these damn chemicals you're using. I mean, she doesn't really, you know what I'm getting ready to say? Because I'm a crazy person.
Uh-oh.
I feel like she hasn't told us enough about her husband.
I see what you're saying, because, like, is he somebody who is so controlling that he would do something nuts like that to just make a point and get you to, like, listen to his opinion on something? Because I could see somebody who was, like, really kind of paranoid doing, like, the doctoring stuff so that they could be like, they put it in everything, man.
Wake up, sheeple.
I just can't imagine. The thing I really want to know about, to be honest, I made fun of her because she asked what camera. I really want her to get that camera in there, though. Like, I'm making a joke about how your marriage is just over, don't bother. But I think I'd be where she is, where I'm like, no, but I want to see it, though. And I want to know what it is that he's putting in there, and I want, like, ironclad proof before I go to somebody. The advice columnist responded in much the same way we did, where she was like, your marriage is over. But she actually had a really smart response to this, which was, first, go to your bank and cut him off from all of the accounts and close any accounts and make sure that he does not have access to shit. That's number one, because if he will tamper with your hair products and moisturizers, he'll tamper with your money. And if you think that he's trying to kill you to get his hands on the money, cutting him off from it is the first step. And then, before you even go to the police, you go to a lawyer. And you start drawing up papers for a divorce.
See, I didn't even think of a lawyer.
Yeah, same. Lawyers are one of those things that I always just think of as being there when you need, when you're in an emergency. I don't, and you know, this is an emergency, but like they get suggested as an option for things where really all you need is like somebody to talk to and get advice. And I forget that that's like probably 80% of what they do. Is they don't necessarily have to like take action on your behalf.
Right.
They could just tell you how to proceed with things, which is just as valuable.
Like Skylar's lawyer.
Oh my God. I forgot about that whole thing. Oh, Skylar.
And she's just telling her, get the fuck out.
Get out of there. What are you doing?
Yes, girl, but you don't understand. He did it for us, for our family.
Oh, God. That was so hard to watch. But yeah, I like, and don't you wish this was a reality show? Because like, I want to see what happens.
I have a lot of questions. Is he poisoning anyone else?
God, I hope it's just, if he's poisoning her at all, I hope it's just her. Because if he's a serial poisoner, I would just be kind of offended by then. Like, you're just doing it to everybody. I'm not even special. It's not even that you wanted something from me. It's just that you have this compulsion. That sucks. But I would love to see if she did go to a bank and just started to cut off his access to money, how he would react.
Well, I feel like he would escalate.
Right? And try and kill you just much quicker. Like, if you do that, you can't go home, right? You'd have to sleep at your mom's.
I feel like, yeah, you got to spend the night at a friend's house.
Sleep with one eye open.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, though, like the idea of even going to a bank and withdrawing all your funds when you live like me, and that means like $42, it does. like if me and Steve, like if I was going to...
Do you want this in large bills? And they give you one bill.
Right.
And a quarter.
I will take this in 40 of your crispest new $1 bills.
Oh, God.
Yeah, like, if I was going to, like, suddenly leave Steven, like, yeah, that's not on my list of things to do, which go to the bank and withdraw the money. Yeah, so
And she says that she has assets, too. So I'm wondering what else there is that he could potentially, like, have access to. Because I know when people are married, there's all kinds of, like, ways that they can get into shit. And maybe he's trying to, like, not even kill her, but just make her sick so that he can get access to things. Like, does a spouse automatically have power of attorney?
No.
Maybe he's trying to, like, do something.
But if they have joint holdings, then you don't need to have power of attorney because you have an equal right to those things.
Got you. Okay. So he's probably trying to kill her. Yeah, I just can't. It's just, I really wish that there was a follow-up. There's another advice column, Ask a Manager. Do you ever follow that?
No, I think I've seen like once or twice when something particular makes the rounds on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't really follow it.
Yeah, it's, I don't follow it myself, but there is a group that a lot of the women in it do, and they'll post really particularly egregious questions or situations. And in that, she tends to get updates, and the person who originally submitted the question will come back and like follow up with her, and she'll post that and in the comments and do like a whole new post for it, which is great because you just sometimes want to know what the fuck could possibly be the solution here. The one that I'm thinking of, do you remember that guy who was dating a woman for 2 years and
Yes.
then ghosted and moved to another country?
Yes, and then she ends up being his I saw a follow-up for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those of you who don't know about that one, check that out, because this guy really was mystified as to why his girlfriend was so upset that he literally moved to another country overnight without telling her and without giving any explanation and didn't contact her again.
And this wasn't some casual relationship.
No, they were living together. They were living together for 2 years. And he was like, God, she's so clingy. She's acting really unbalanced. Oh my God, really? Mm-hmm. So he moves to another country. He's there for a while. And then all of a sudden, he gets a new job, and it turns out she's about to be his boss. And he, like, sent her a message. Like, everybody was telling him, dude, she had every right to be angry with you, and you really, like, need to come clean and apologize for your bad behavior. And he clearly still did not see that he had bad behavior in the first place. Mm-hmm. So he wound up leaving the job and blaming her for the fact that he could no longer work there.
And she hadn't been a part of any of it.
No, like he just finally decided to leave. She didn't tell him to go or that he couldn't work there. Yeah, people are fucking banana pants. I
thought about this the other day, how glad I am that I am not single. Mm-hmm. And this is not a bash on people who are single. I just hate the idea of the breaking up and then having to find someone new and doing all that all over again.
Yeah.
Because I am so lazy. I just don't think I could pull it off at this time in my life. I just, like, if something were to happen, I would just be alone forever. I can't imagine, like, having to go through a breakup.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, let me tell you, getting divorced and having that, like, when I really thought that I was done with all of it, that was really
it sounds inconvenient, right?
Yep.
I was gonna say, it just sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yep. Yeah, and the sifting through, like, there's a couple different... We should do an episode about dating. Oh. Even though we're not either of us dating, but still. But there are a lot of, like, stories that I've been seeing of women who, like, are dating guys, and they go through all of the, like, preliminary necessary checks to make sure the guy isn't a total creep, and they pass. Mm-hmm. But then something that you would never even think to check because it seems like such a given winds up coming up and being this horrible issue. And it winds up being the deal breaker. So it's one of those things that, you know, they talk about how, like, familiarity breeds contempt. And it's like, you know, to a degree I understand that, but also familiarity gets the skeletons out of the closet. And I need to see those skeletons. So maybe there'll be some contempt, but also at least I won't find out after, like, falling for you that you sleep with your shoes on or something that's just like,
what a random thing.
That was a thing. Shoes and socks. This person was asking, is this something that, like, is this normal? Like, what do I do about this? And honestly, what do you do?
Wait.
You really like the person. They seem normal in every other way. And they fucking sleep with their shoes on. I got nothing for advice on that. Because that's the kind of thing that, you know, it's so deeply rooted that if you go, why are you doing this? They'd just be like, I like it, okay?
Oh my God.
And that's as far as you're going to get with them.
There's, I can't even imagine the deep-seated trauma behind needing to sleep with your shoes and socks on.
You know?
Like, that's I had to once run out of my house in the middle of the night type of shit.
Yep.
And now I can't sleep any other way. That's horrifying.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. You can't predict something like that. You don't find out about that until you're invested.
Well, if we ever get around to that dating episode, I'm going to need to hear about some deal breakers.
Yeah, guys, if you have anything about, like, any crazy dating stories, send them my way and let me know. Oh man, I'm just trying to think of the only one that I have, and I will tell it on that, isn't really so much like a dating story as like a surprise. I kind of catfished you a tiny bit story.
Oh.
And it was really before catfishing was like understood as a not something that just serial killers did. You know what I mean? That like we all would talk about like meeting people on the internet being super dangerous, but we always said it in this way that it was like, no, seriously, you could be murdered. And nowadays we're like, oh, good luck, because you never know if the guy is using a 10-year-old picture of himself in his profile.
Yeah, you think you're talking to somebody and it just turns out to be two little kids in a trench coat.
Do you know, I just watched the episode of Seinfeld yesterday where she's getting calls from the guy who picks out the movies that she likes at the video store. Vincent's Picks.
What's his name?
Vincent's Picks.
Vincent, yeah.
And Jean is the one that...
Getting this Weekend at Bernie's.
Yes.
She's yelling.
This, you can tell he's dead. Look at the sunglasses. Oh, God. Yeah, and Vincent, she shows up at his door because she thinks they really have something since they love all the same sensitive, emotional movies.
He sent her the piece of the VCR and she's wearing it around her neck.
I forgot she had it around her neck. But yeah, he's like, I think 15 years old, his mom said.
And she shows up at the house with the things he's asked for, which is like a giant bottle of vodka, fireworks.
And cigarettes. He's played, you see him only for a second, but that kid is played by the same guy who's in Buffy, who's the little short nerdy dude.
Oh, you're right. Jonathan.
Jonathan, yes.
Because he yells something like, no, my acne.
I can't believe you remember that.
Listen.
Yes.
I have seen every episode of Seinfeld 100 million times.
That's so funny. Yeah, they've been holding, like, we're getting into the later seasons, though, and the later seasons are when I started to not like it as much because the storylines get so dark that it's a little bit much for me.
Oh, my God. I love the later seasons even more than I love the beginning ones.
I'm shocked.
It is.
Shocked, I tell you.
I don't think they get, well, I guess you know what? They kind of do.
They do? What are you talking about? Were you about to argue that they don't get dark?
I was about to say that I don't think that they get that much darker, but they absolutely do. And I love every fucking second of it.
You are a liar.
I love every second of it. And they start to do some really fun things with their own stupid jokes that, like my favorite, well, you know what? We'll do an episode about Seinfeld.
I had that. Did you see that? That was one of my options for today?
Oh.
Yeah, that I was like, so should we talk about Seinfeld or... I think I don't even remember what the other things were, but yeah, that was one of the options. Yeah, all right. So I think that's good. I think let's see. How long have we been running on this one? Because I was intending this to be a shorter one.
7 minutes.
Listen, see, you were worried.
I was worried.
But see, it's just talking.
But
like we talk
you know
about
what?
everything.
Just because I enjoyed it and you enjoyed it doesn't mean anyone else is going to enjoy it.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Our opinions are the opinions. I'm pretty sure that's like in the Bible somewhere. And lo, Natasha, daughter of such and such. Because I don't know my dad's name. And lo, their opinions were law, and those laws were passed down unto man. I like to say and lo before things. All right, so I hope that you guys did enjoy it. This is a little preview snippet too, so those of you who aren't necessarily patrons will be hearing this episode. I don't know if I'm going to post it in its entirety, but I probably will just because it's easier. And if you want more of this, go to patreon.com/unspoiled and become a patron at $20, and you'll get one of these every 2 weeks, and it'll be super fun. And I really, like, and don't yell at me, RoShawn, because your instinct is going to be like, fucking shut up. But my ultimate goal is to finally find some platform on which we could do these kinds of things live on camera. But that has yet to be something that is possible in 2018. Like, everything breaks down.
Everything that we try to use breaks down.
I mean, I thought that Google Hangouts was the backup that would always work for me, even though I didn't really like it. It would always be there. It was like, it was like a parent. And then all of a sudden, the parent died. And it turns out there was nothing in their bank account that they left you.
I was going to say, it's not like it's like a parent, but not like a good one. More like the ones we had.
Right. that they just like hang out and they're like, well, I'm here if you need me, but like, I really kind of hope you don't need me.
I'm here in theory.
Yep. But it doesn't even, the last time I tried to use that with Alan, I couldn't hear him and he couldn't hear me and I kept coming back in and out and then it would boot people. It was a nightmare. So I started a Discord for patrons also, and I'm hoping that I can find some way to do video on Discord, but I'm not sure that it's possible to do it without the other people joining in also on video. So I'm going to have to look into what I can hook up in there. But yeah, keep your ear to the ground. But for those of you who are wondering why $20, because that seems high, I'm going to be splitting all of the $20 pledges that I get with RoShawn. So she's going to be getting half this money because she works hard, and I wanted to do something that would pay her. What? See, shut up. Just stop it. You just sit there and be stupidly quiet. And I think she deserves some money, and I think that you guys would like to support us. So, again, patreon.com/unspoiled.
Oh.
All right.
I'm so uncomfortable.
That's all. I guess we don't have anything else to say.
No, I'm very uncomfortable. Let's end it.
All right. All right, cool. Thanks, everybody. See you in 2 weeks.
Bye, guys.